It's a heartwarming tale of an unwanted daughter, questionable finances, and official protection that only the Biden family could tell because of a gag order. Hey, everybody, I'm Steve Green with Bill Whittle and Scott Ott, and this is Right Angle, brought to you by the members of BillWhittle.com. And, gentlemen, I don't know if you heard about this, but first son Hunter Biden, his ex-girlfriend, or ex-fling baby mama, was given an official gag order on Monday not to reveal, I got to use a lot of notes on this story, there are tons of details, not to reveal anything she learned about his finances during the child support battle she was forced to wage against her daughter's deadbeat dad, a.k.a. Hunter Biden. According to Radar Online, who got a hold of his court records, the Arkansas judge issued the order against London Roberts, that's the woman's name, at Biden's request. Circuit Judge Holly Meyer ruled that the information revealed in her court, quote, about or related to child support, including affidavits of financial means, is confidential information and shall be sealed. Now, Hunter Biden, we know, was at one point getting paid up to $50,000 a month by Burisma, the Ukrainian energy giant, because he's an expert in this field or something. Oh, no, because his last name is Biden. And he got all the money from China for his investment firm because he's made so many profitable invests. Nope, again, because his last name is Biden, and he flew there on Air Force Two with his dad. Anyway, we can't know about this stuff because the judge, again, according to Radar Online, even ordered London's lawyers to keep Hunter's files in a secure environment and not share with any person who is not an attorney. According to the New York Post, Meyer wrote that there is good cause for the protection of private information of the parties in this case, despite, of course, Biden's questionable connections. Now, Scott, the details are all a bit sordid, but as a public figure who had claimed he couldn't afford child support for the daughter whose paternity he denied until the DNA test came through, does it seem a little questionable to you on the judge's part?
Yeah, I wonder what those good reasons are. And perhaps I should start off by saying I would really rather have a justice system where we didn't trickle out the information related to any case before the jury gets to hear it, before it's established, before the guilt or innocence are established. Like, to me, nice. I don't want a jury by public PR, you know, and there's a tendency for bits and pieces of information from trials to leak out, and then it just makes the public absolutely sure that they know what happened. Meanwhile, the jury is sitting in there still scratching their heads trying to figure out what happened, and they're getting to see all of it in front of them. We just get little piecemeal stuff. However, that said, if anybody else's trial would be public, then so should Hunter Biden's. If that information would be, if I was involved in a situation like this, if everybody would have access to that, then so should he. I just don't think anybody should have access to any of that, because I think you can't have a fair trial, especially when you get somebody who's a public figure, because, you know, if it were me, nobody would care. But because it's somebody who's related to the President of the United States, then everybody has a great deal of interest in it. I would say the same thing when it comes to President Trump's legal situations right now. You know, that information that keeps dripping out to us and being released to us or leaked to us by various people, we shouldn't know that. That should go before a judge or a jury, and that should be decided from people who have full access to all the details of it, not the piecemeal nonsense we're getting.
Yeah, Scott, you reminded me of something. This is off topic, I guess, kind of tangential. Apparently, Trump was offered to do his arraignment over a Zoom call. He could stay in Florida, not have to go to New York at all. And he chose to go to New York in the most visibly public way possible. And I got to tell you, this is a guy who was once host of the most successful reality TV show of its time. Do you think he knows what he's doing here?
Yeah, not everybody gets to fly from their house to the courthouse in a 757 with their name on it, you know, in 6 million point letters. So
this is something to do with my topic this
week.
week.
Okay. We won't explore this any further. We'll do that with Bill's show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for the objection there, Bill. Now, Bill, over to you.
Sustained.
Thank you. This is where the sealing of the records kind of gets to me. You know, 2 out of 3 weeks, I've totally lost control of my segment. I love it when this happens. It just brings a smile to my face. How Hunter Biden managed to successfully claim any kind of financial distress after years of lucrative no-show jobs around the world and the foreign investments in his companies and all the rest, that remains a mystery. Although, actually, to be fair, crack and hookers don't pay for themselves. So maybe the guy actually
stole my freaking line verbatim.
Dang!
Verbatim.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Good for you, man. You got there first. You deserve the credit.
But
verbatim. That was my exact sentence.
well, also to Hunter's credit, you know, he does fancy himself an artist now, and he's selling high-priced art of dubious artistic value to anonymous
for $500
donors.
grand, right?
Or, I'm sorry, to anonymous buyers. Little slip of the tongue there.
For like $500 grand, right? Something like that.
Sales were expected to be up to $500 grand. I don't know if any of them actually sold for that much, but I'd be surprised if they didn't because, yeah,
that's a lot of money for crayons.
You know what tempera paint costs these days?
$6.
Anyway,
I don't know. Anyway, Bill, I guess my question to you is, we've seen a lot of effort go to sweeping all of this under the rug, and it seems to be working. So I guess the obvious question is, would this be working at all if we had the parties reversed in this situation?
Before I make even more of an idiot of myself than usual, I need to ask a question that I simply don't know the answer to. Are records about alimony payments generally public knowledge? I don't know the answer to that.
You know, I have no idea either. So
the reason that this is relevant, obviously, is because if it turns out that if I wanted to find out if somebody was making alimony payments to somebody else, if I had access to that information, and I kind of suspect that it is publicly available, to be honest with you, then this is a special case. And there you go. Now, I just don't know the answer. But I don't think it'd be a news story if it turned out that this information was never, ever able to be released, you know, because obviously this is not a regular case. My short answer is, man, it's just got to be lovely to have the full faith, power, and authority of the largest government and most successful and richest country in the history of the world behind your personal endeavors and against other ones. You know, it must be really nice to be able to with a wave of a hand, put a complete media blackout over anything that may look bad for you or your family, and at the same time, create charges against people who are your opponents and make those the news story of the month, if not the year. That's a handy thing to have, a federal government. I kind of wish I had one working for me that way too, because I think if I had a federal government at my disposal, I could be considerably more successful than I am today. As far as the actual the meta point is, more than anything, it goes to really what a dirtbag this guy is.
Yes.
Right? Because I'll just say it just for the echo effect. You know, hookers and crack don't pay for themselves. That money's got to come from somewhere. So either he's lying when he said he didn't have enough money for the child support, or he didn't have enough money for the child support because he was doing too many drugs. Now, this is the guy that Joe Biden raised. This is Joe Biden's son. He is a reflection on Joe Biden. We're all reflections of our fathers, and if we don't have fathers, we're a reflection of that too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, present fathers. So whenever I hear Joe Biden say, "I give you my word as a Biden," to me that's like I give you my word as a Soprano. I give you my word as a Capone. You know, I give you my word as a Goebbels. That's what that means to me, and this erosion of the belief in the rule of law is happening so quickly. When you have both of these stories happening the same week, where a guy whose photographic record of guilt is so unimpeachable. We have his laptop with his emails, and we got the receipts, we got the photographs. Nothing to see there. And now you've got a DA in New York who's indicted a former president of the United States over charges that are questionable at best. And more than the political equation Steve, more than, hey, look, it benefits the Democrats and hurts the Republicans. That's decades old news.
Yeah.
It is destroying virtually any belief in the rule of law anymore. There is no longer the idea that nobody is above the law. Democrats are above the law. And that's because all of our problems come down to the same problem. All of them. The budget, the border, all of it. We do not have a press corps. There is no free press in this country. And the press is the immune system of the republic. Their job is to root out pathogens and expose them to daylight, whether they're Republican or Democrat. And when that system starts attacking itself, you have an autoimmune disease that's going to kill the patient. And that's exactly where we are now, period.
Yeah, and Bill mentioned just how sordid this all is. Again, I got to refer to my notes here because there's a lot going on. Now, London Roberts, the mother of the president's unacknowledged granddaughter, she's an Arkansas native. That's
unacknowledged.
That's why the case is being heard in Arkansas. She's believed to have been working as a stripper in Washington, D.C. when she had a fling with Hunter, and she reportedly got pregnant around the time Hunter had broken up with his former sister-in-law, Hallie Biden, who had been married to Beau Biden, Hunter's just deceased brother. And that's
quality people.
Indeed. And their fling was around the same time Hunter illegally purchased a firearm by lying on the background check required by federal law. Now, normally lying on an ATF Form 4473 could result in a $250,000 fine and up to 10 years in jail. Instead, Biden reportedly had the mess covered up by the same Secret Service, of course, that protects his father. If you need a flow chart to follow all of that, maybe I can put one together for you later, but my skills aren't that good. I don't think it's going to happen. And there won't be a quiz at the end, so you don't have to remember all of this. Just kind of let the stink of it settle in your brain and take up a little time there. I'd like to finish with this. I'm old enough to remember a more innocent time. It was the 1990s when, for a period during the Clinton administration, Democrats decided that the public enemy number one was deadbeat dads. These were the worst people in the world, and we needed all kinds of laws to track these guys down and get them to pay up. And I have no problem with that. If you've got a kid, you take care of your kid. And if the courts have to come into it, well, the courts have to come into it. I have just kind of watched in wonder, in amazement, as our public enemy number one is now the highest profile swept under the rug thing that I can remember seeing in 40 years of watching politics. That's right, I started when I was 12. Give me a break, I was a weird kid. All right, that's your right angle on that, brought to you by the members of BillWhittle.com. For Bill Whittle and Scott Ott, I'm Steve Green. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.